Notre Dame, bound for the Orange Bowl, having won 9 of 10 games this year, ranked 5th nationally. Southern California, with a record of 8-1-1, ranked 4th in the UPI, 6th in the AP poll, and headed for the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. Notre Dame leads in this series over the years, 26 wins, 15 losses, 4 ties. But over the last 7 years, USC has taken the edge, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties. The crowd today will be upwards of 90,000. It is 69 degrees. A perfect day for football, and the Fighting Irish are coming onto the floor of the Los Angeles Coliseum. Notre Dame, coached by Ara Parsekian. Wearing the white uniforms, the road jerseys today. Notre Dame has come into this football stadium many times against these University of Southern California Trojans, and here comes USC out of the tunnel. Traveler 2 with Dick Sacco moving around the track here in the Coliseum as the Southern California band strikes up. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Keith Jackson. I'll be calling the play for you today. Working with us is our guest analyst and commentator, a man who has the longest-running television show, I think, in the country, Woody Hayes, the head football coach at Ohio State University. You've had a television program going for some 24 years, Coach.
4 years, that's right, that's right.
Coach, you have a chance today to see firsthand the football team that your Buckeyes take on New Year's Day in the Rose Bowl.
Yes, I'm particularly interested in them, and I'm particularly interested in how Ara goes about attacking them, too.
Notre Dame now has used defense. They lead the country in total defense this year. They have used that defense, I think, as a weapon in achieving field position.
They certainly have, but I wouldn't pick them any superior to that team we played last week in defense, Michigan. They're a great defensive team, too, as you saw. But it is a great weapon, and they get to see all your films nowadays, so it's pretty hard to fool anybody with your offense. And they are a great defensive team, and they do something else I sort of like. They run that fullback a lot, and that's pretty good football.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the players. The defensive team for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, number 70 from Cincinnati, Ohio, left end Steve Niehaus. Number 60 from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, left tackle Kevin Nosbush. Number 88 from Tulsa, Oklahoma, right tackle Mike Fanning. Number 48 from Barberton, Ohio, right end Jim Stock. Number 50 from Troy, Michigan, linebacker Greg Collins. Number 45 from Farmington, Michigan, linebacker Drew Mahalik. Number 42 from Elkhart, Indiana, linebacker Tom Eastman. Number 14 from Flint, Michigan, defensive halfback Reggie Barnett. Number 16 from Palmer Park, Maryland, defensive halfback Randy Payne. Number 41 from Hobart, Indiana, safety John Dubanetsky. Number 10 from Hammond, Indiana, free safety Randy Harrison. And the head coach of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, Ara Parsekian. And now introducing seniors from the University of Southern California. Number 92 from St. Joseph's, Louisiana, nose guard Otha Bradley. Number 73, Granada Hills, California, defensive tackle Greg Mardarian. Number 49 from Pasadena, California, rover Charles Phillips. Number 37 from San Pedro, California, linebacker Ken Gray. Number 11 from Covina, California, place kicker Chris Limahelu. Number 56 from Montebello, California, offensive guard Mike Smith. Number 16 from San Pedro, California, flanker John Cantwell. Number 25 from Covina, California, split end John McKay. Number 9 from Dinuba, California, quarterback Rob Adolph. Number 21 from San Dimas, California, tailback Alan Carter. Number 10 from West Covina, California, starting quarterback Pat Hayden. Number 28 from San Fernando, California, starting tailback Anthony Davis. and the head coach of the Southern California Trojans, John McKay. USC and Notre Dame in a moment.
This ESPN.
Chris Limahelu will kick off for the University of Southern California, and the ball game is underway. The Fighting Irish and the Trojans for the 46th time. The kick is very short. Fielded short by Tim Weiler of Notre Dame, and he brings it back a very short distance as SC's kick coverage is very good. And the Trojans stop the Irish at about the 20-yard line. There, Notre Dame will go to work, and along the front, the Irish line up like this. 91 is Weber. He's the tight end. Remember him from the Sugar Bowl a year ago. 64 is Neese. 66, Wujak. Brenneman in the middle. DiNardo, Sylvester, Dimmerly wide. Clements, the quarterback. Mark McLean listed, but it's Eric Pennick coming out of the backfield and starting. Wayne Bullock is the fullback, and the wingback is Samuel. And it's the fullback, Bullock, going to the right side of the line, moving behind the right tackle, and he gets a yard, maybe two, and that's all. So as Notre Dame picks up short yardage of 2 yards at his first carry, let's set the Notre Dame, or rather the Southern California defense. 79 is Gary Jeter. Otha Bradley is 92. Art Riley is number 70. Number 87 is Ed Powell. He is actually listed as a linebacker. The other linebackers are Kevin Bruce, 50, Richard Wood, 83, and Dale Mitchell, 85. And Notre Dame on the second offensive play of the ball game. Notre Dame finding Southern California stacking and hitting hard as the ball is advanced. Very shortly, I'll give him 2 more yards. Call it a 2-yard pickup and bring up 3rd down and a long 6. In the deep secondary for Southern California, it's Danny Reese, 46, Marvin Cobb, 24, Charles Phillips, 49, and Ron Bush, number 23. It is a very quick, defendable secondary, one that may bend a little but seldom breaks. At least it has not broken very much this year. Tom Clements will go to the air on 3rd down and a long 6. He pops the ball in there. The pass is complete. Good for a first down to Al Samuel, number 24. And so Notre Dame goes to the air on 3rd and long and gets the first down. Our guest analyst and commentator today is Coach Woody Hayes of Ohio State.
Yes, and that was certainly a great call. They came underneath the Southern Cal defense with their halfback, and it was just as good a call as they could possibly make. And sure worked, because they were in trouble on that drive.
Samuel twisting a leg or an ankle. As you look at Notre Dame's record, he comes out. Terry Urick, number 40, goes in at the wingback position, and it's Urick in motion now. The handoff is given away to the fullback, Wayne Bullock. And he goes from the 33-yard line on the first down play across the 35 to about the 37. He was cut down by Otha Bradley, the nose guard, number 92 for Southern California. Notre Dame is wearing the white, Southern California in the home crimson, or scarlet, if you like. Bradley is a senior out of St. Joseph's, Louisiana, and he's a good one. And he lines up right on the nose of Mark Brenneman, the center for Notre Dame. You look at Tom Clements, another of the Heisman Trophy candidates. And Clements gives the ball to his fullback Bullock, who is the leading ground gainer for the Fighting Irish. And he's got a couple of yards, that's all, as Southern California linebackers pinch in and nail him at the 39-yard line.
And now they've got to come up with another relatively long situation. That's one of the toughest calls in football right there. 3rd and 3. Do you pass or do you run? It's usually a little too far to run for the first down, and you have to go to the air. Let's see what they do.
Well, you like the fullback play in these kind of plays, I know,
yeah.
Coach, yourself.
Well, it's a little far, though, for that fullback now. Yeah, there it is. He didn't make it. That's their counter play.
Art Riley, number 70, nails Clements back at the 35-yard line.
And I don't think that was a pass at all. I think that was definitely the counter play that Era's been using since he was at Northwestern. But didn't quite get it, and this is a particularly important place in the game because Southern Cal on this one can get pretty good field position.
Charles Phillips, number 49, is the deep man. Tony Brantley will do the punting for Notre Dame.
It's only
Brantley,
30 yards. No, it's 43 yards deep. He's about right.
Brantley's kick is away. A low kick.
Low.
A little bit short. Fair catch is called, however.
Good call by that back. That's a good. They're on 35-yard line.
31-yard punt on the play, and the ball is down at the 35-yard line, just inside the 35 for the University of Southern California Trojans. And the Trojans offensively will line up like this. Jim Obradovich will be the tight end, number 89. Powell, number 76. Davis, 64. McCaffrey in the middle. Bain on the right side at guards. Knutson, the tackle, and John McKay is the split end. The quarterback is Pat Hayden. The I-back or the deep man is Anthony Davis, and he's got it on a student body left. Here he comes, running around the left side. He moves it from just inside the 35 out to about the 38-yard line. He picked up the better part of 4 yards on the carry.
All right, Niehaus, the great end or tackle, they call him, for Notre Dame. Watch him, number 70, come out here now. Good speed. He's a big man, about 260, and he made the tackle for a 3-yard gain.
Randy Payne, number 16, young junior from Palmer Park, Maryland, stuck his head in there and got a piece of the action. It's second down and 7 yards to go for Southern California. Let's see if they go to Davis the other way, to the wide side.
That's exactly right. The other side.
Anthony Davis has no room as Barnett, number 14, runs him down, and there is a loss on the play.
They come up 3rd and 10 now. This is a big call, too.
The Southern California starting backfield. Davis is 28. 15 is the fullback for the Southern California Trojans, Dave Farmer. Number 26 is the wide man, Shelton Diggs. And number 10 is Pat Hayden, the quarterback. Kevin Nosbush, who was injured in practice on Wednesday, is in the lineup. We don't know how long he'll play, but he's in there right now as Notre Dame sets up a 5-man front, and Hayden on 3rd down and 10 will put it up. He wants to go deep. He delivers short to Obradovich, and Obradovich is nailed at the 40-yard line, short of the first down, and Notre Dame holds the ball, and was it picked off? Drew Mahalik came out of there with a football. Drew Mahalik, number 45 for Notre Dame. As Hayden was back, the deep men were covered very well by the Notre Dame secondary. And that's that man-to-man coverage that Notre Dame sometimes goes to. And the ball was thrown into Obradovich, the short man, couldn't handle it, and Drew Mahalik comes out of there with it.
It's a real big break early in the ball game. Ball 1st and 10 on the 39.
Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. They really haunt you. Here comes Clements now. We mentioned earlier that Notre Dame has used defense as a primary weapon for field position. They've got it now. Clements wants to catch it in. Going deep. He's got a man wide open. It is Goodman. And Goodman is out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. First down, Notre Dame at the Southern California 18-yard line. A gain of 21 on the play.
Right now, up to this point, it would look like neither team can run much, but they certainly can pass. The pass has been the big play up to now.
All right, Goodman comes off the field, and Samuel goes in at what amounts to the wingback position, the way Notre Dame moves the football. Eric Pinnock, number 44, is in the halfback position alongside of Wayne Bullock as a setback. Clements, he gives the football to Bullock, big hole up the middle. Bullock is inside the 10. He goes to about the 9-yard line before he is brought down. He got a great block from Al Wujcik, number 66, and Mark Brenneman, the center, number 59.
That's truly a diversified offense. They've run the fullbacks or halfbacks. They passed off fullback action. They're giving Southern Cal plenty of problems right now. Now they've got a 2nd and 1 on the 9.
Bullock has carried the ball twice. He's gained 10 yards. So far in the ball game, he sets up with Pinnock. It's Samuel in motion. They give the ball to Bullock again. He goes inside the 5. He's got a 1st and goal to go at the Southern California 4-yard line.
That's an ideal setup to score when you only have 4 yards and 4 downs to make it.
First down and goal to go as Notre Dame's Drew Mahalik, linebacker, comes up with a pass interception to give Notre Dame the football. At the 39-yard line, the Irish went for 21 yards on the pass play. They gained 9 yards. They gained 5 yards. And you got it first down and goal to go at the 4. Notre Dame and White. Clements turns and he gives to his big fullback. And the big fullback, Bullock, goes pounding into the middle. He's down to about the 2-yard line.
He's a lot of power. He means an awful lot to that effort.
And Anthony Davis watching from the bench, waiting for his chance. Southern California in trouble early in the ball game. As you see, 9.5 minutes to play in the first quarter, and Notre Dame. Second down, goal to go from the 2-yard line.
Go back again.
Touchdown, Notre Dame. Steve Sylvester, Steve Neese, Jerry DiNardo. They're the men that blew the hole, opened the door for the touchdown, and the Fighting Irish get on the board. Let's have a look at the play from the end zone. Easy walk in for Bullock.
He couldn't have had a much better hole than that.
Frank Alaco comes in the hole, and in for the extra point try is Dave Reeve. Number 3, a freshman out of Bloomington, Indiana. The kick is in the air. He splits the uprights with it. And so with 9 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the first quarter, Notre Dame exercises the opportunity presented them. They go in for the touchdown and take the lead over USC 7-0. The University of Southern California sends number 22, Dwight Ford, and number 28, Anthony Davis, deep. Anthony Davis going to the goal line. Ford is a freshman, and he can really fly. He's right back there with him. Now, when the ball is kicked by Pat McLaughlin of Notre Dame, they will come off as split backs. In other words, they'll split away from each other, and the man closest to the ball will take it. All 3 fullbacks. In other words, USC has 6 running backs as their deep men, but McLaughlin will give him very little chance to return it. He just knocked it out of the ballpark. McLaughlin is a junior from Santa Barbara, California, which is a lovely community about 90-odd miles up the road from where this football game is being played. So Southern California gets the ball first down at their own 20-yard line as Notre Dame goes 39 yards, 5 plays, using 1 minute and 36 seconds for the touchdown, and Wayne Bullock carried the ball 4 of those 5 times. The other play was a 21-yard pass play from Tom Clements to Ron Goodman. All right, McCaffrey's over the ball for Southern California. Pat Hayden, number 10, sets the Trojans. And the handoff goes to Anthony Davis. And Davis is hit right at the line of scrimmage. And he took a solid wallop from Niehaus. Niehaus, number 70.
He simply rid himself of the blocker and just made it. That's the kind of a hit that doesn't do a back any good either.
It not only discourages him emotionally, it might discourage him physically.
He might get a cracked rib out of something like that.
Johnny McKay on the sideline, the Gray Fox, walking up and down. Davis has carried 3 times. He's picked up no yards. Hayden back, gonna throw. Looks downfield, got a man over the middle. He threw it too late.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too late. He went good and deep to make sure he had good protection, and the man had gone just a little bit too far.
Shelton Diggs, number 26, one of the great leapers in college football. He can go as high as anybody I know to chase a football. We get a change now at fullback as Farmer, number 15, comes in, replacing Mosi Tatupu. Tatupu is a freshman out of Honolulu. Farmer is a junior out of Lafayette. All right, it's 3rd down and 10 yards to go for Southern California. The ball is at the 20. Davis breaks it up the middle, gets to about the 30-yard line on a draw.
I thought there was an offside there at the middle guard.
Looked like the middle guard for Notre Dame moved early, but perhaps
maybe
not.
He didn't get into the across the line of scrimmage, but it looks like he moved pretty early.
They're just shy of the first down. They need no more than 6 inches for it. It'll be 4th down, and Pat Hayden looks to the sidelines to John McKay. They're down 7-0 with 8 minutes and 13 seconds to play in the first quarter. It is so very close. The question is, do we gamble this early in the ball game?
Yeah, that's a big, big call.
Looks like they're going to go.
So they sent in their goal line defense. These 2 men going in are in there to stop that short yardage play.
The fullback is Ricky Bell, number 42 for this one. Bell is a big, strong youngster, sophomore out of Los Angeles, 215-pounder. Hayden, sneak.
I don't know.
If that linesman marks it as he runs in, Notre Dame takes over the ball. Southern California gambles in the first quarter, and Notre Dame holds them. Greg Collins, number 50, the linebacker. Watch him.
Yes, he surely does.
He plugged the gap as USC tried to wedge.
Now, USC defense better dig in or they're in real trouble. Or they'll be 14 points behind the first quarter, and that's pretty rough.
Tom Clements gets the ball at the 29-yard line, and he still got it. Comes back to throw. Gets his pass off, going deep. Got a man. Touchdown! Notre Dame beats Italy. 29 yards for the touchdown.
Beverly has caught more passes than the rest of Notre Dame team put together. And They got a good fake to the fullback inside. As a running play, then he's out of there. The ball is perfectly thrown. The lead is just exactly what it should be. And he's open. There it is.
And Dave Reeve is in for the extra point. The SC gamble backfires as Notre Dame jumps to a 2-touchdown lead, and Reeve's kick is in the middle. And with 7 minutes and 39 seconds to play in this 46th meeting between Southern California and Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish have jumped to a 14-0 lead.
To the 1974 Notre Dame USC game. Notre Dame kicked a 20-yard field goal, giving the Fighting Irish a 17-0 lead. USC now has the ball on their 43 with 5 minutes left in the half.
Southern California now facing 3rd down and 15. Hayden swings it out to Davis, and Davis almost is caught behind the line of scrimmage. It's Jimmy Stock again. Jim Stock, number 48, the junior out of Barberton, Ohio. A loss of 4 yards on the play, and Southern California will have to punt it. When the pass was deflected, we'll show you that play in a moment. As Woody Hayes had commented, John McKay, intended receiver, had been open on it, but Hayden couldn't get the ball to it. We'll show it to you in a minute. Right now, Southern California's got to punt it away with Harrison and Bergmeyer going deep. And we get contact along the line of scrimmage, draws penalty flags, and they'll see what happens here. But in the meantime, Woody, as you noted, John McKay really had become a primary target for the first time in a ball game and had broken free. Here we see it on replay.
He was open for the score because there was no center fielder on that play. And the ball just never got away. Notre Dame's put on a great rush. They're using their linebackers most of the time in it, and they're doing a great job of rushing. And of course, the Southern Cal quarterback is rather short. That's why John McKay sets him so deep.
All right, Lucas back in punt formation now for Southern California with Harrison and Bergmeyer. The return man, big rush for the Irish. Great kick by Lucas. Turned it over. Bergmeyer backs it all the way up, back to the 15-yard line, retreats to the 14-yard line, comes back to the 20, and down he goes at the 21. 49-yard punt by Lucas and a 4-yard return by Bergmeyer with 3 minutes and 42 seconds to play in the first half. Notre Dame scoring 14 points within a period of, well, actually a minute and 41 seconds in the first quarter, exercising field position both times. Took it in for the touchdowns and got a 20-yard field goal from Dave Reeve, and they lead 17-0 as we come toward the end of the first half of play. Notre Dame with the ball, first down at their own 21-yard line. Wayne Bullock is out of the lineup. He has sprained his left ankle. Tom Parisi, number 36, is the fullback. The ball is given away to Mark McLean, number 22, and McLean is run down by Charlie Phillips. Right along the line of scrimmage, he may have lost a yard. And, of course, Phillips was the man that picked off the Clement's pass a few moments ago to stop the Notre Dame drive. McLean is a sophomore, 204-pounder out of Wilmington, Delaware. He did lose a yard on the play. One lone remaining back now for Notre Dame. Two wide receivers to the left side. They send Pinnock in motion, give the ball to the fullback, Parisi. He's got a yard, maybe two, as he tries to move it behind Wujek, Brenneman, and Donardo, with Riley and Bradley making the stop for Southern California.
It looks like Notre Dame's going to be satisfied to use up as much of the clock as they can, then punt out of there and keep good field position, which is certainly good sound football when you've got a 17-point lead.
Third down and 8 yards to go. The ball is out at the 23-yard line. Again, Pinnock is the man in motion. Clements on a roll left. Wants to put it up. Gets it, lobs it. Pass is caught all right on the sidelines, and it's ruled a completed pass. Caught by McLean, coming out of the backfield for a gain of 14 yards on the play, and a Notre Dame first down.
I sure called that one wrong.
Great throw by Clements. Just lobbed it, put it up in the air, and let it drift over the head of the defender. And the youngster McLean ran right underneath it. So it's first down at the 37-yard line for the Fighting Irish. 2 minutes and 19 seconds to play in the first half. Clements going to put it up again. He looks for Dimmerly, throws it away. Dimmerly was surrounded by a couple of Trojans over there. Very little chance to deliver the ball accurately, and Clements just drilled it out of bounds.
At least he stopped the clock. He's still got 2 minutes to score. 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
Pat Hayden, who's had a rough day so far. Pat has not had the kind of season that he wanted. He's been worked for a long time during the middle of the season with a bruised hand, sprained finger. Urich, number 40, goes in motion, takes the fake. They want to set up a screen. The screen goes with Goodman, and Goodman pops it out of there. He goes down to the Southern California 48-yard line. It's another first down for Notre Dame. A gain of 14 yards on the play, and Mark Brenneman, the center, again throws a big block.
That was well executed because you have to trap the first man coming up, and they did a good job. They got a couple men ahead of the ball and another first down, and they've still got time to score. And you can bet they're sure aware of that.
Inside 2 minutes now. As they move the chains, the clock starts to move again. We go to 1 minute and 50, and Parisi goes into the middle. He gets a couple of yards. Otha Bradley, 92, Art Riley, 70. Make the stop.
Excuse me, they've got 2 times out left. It looks like they're going to need them both.
Clock is running as we come up to 1 minute and a half for the white-shirted Irish. Number 66 is Al Wujak, a junior out of Newark, New Jersey. Notre Dame has 15 first downs in this ball game already as Clements, under pressure, gets the pass away, and it is caught by Goodman, and he's inbound. It's McAfee, it is, 81. Let's take a look at it. Big number 81, he's 6'5", 235, and right on the sideline. Oh, that's close. That was close. There's a Trojan supporter right there. Long day so far for her and for a lot of SC faithful as Clemens rolls out on the 26-yard line, delivers it. It is McAfee again. And he catches it at the 8-yard line. First and goal to go for Notre Dame. He's a big, strong youngster who is...
Well, they're getting that cross action in there. That's freezing the linebackers and holding them up, and Ara's always been great on this cross action pattern.
1 minute and 3 seconds to go. The ball is at the 9-yard line. First down and goal to go. McLean goes in motion.
There's the draw play
again as they draw it off. This time to McLean, and he scores.
Well, that was the draw play to the man in motion.
And we've seen that 3 or 4 times in the ball game where that man in motion has come along, gone through the fake with Clements. This time Clements gave him the ball for the first time, and McLean took it in from 9 yards, and Notre Dame runs it off to a big lead here in the first half with 53 seconds to play. They're going for the 24th point. Alaco to hold and Reeve the kick. He's got it. And so with 53 seconds to play in the first half here at the Coliseum, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame have jumped off to a 24-0 lead. So a freshman McAfee makes 2 big plays in that drive by Notre Dame, and a sophomore McLean takes it in from 9 yards, but he got great blocking on the right side from Sylvester and Donardo that opened the door for him. And I never want to ever forget, Coach Hayes, to give the guys at the trenches the credit.
That's right. That's right. That hole is just as big as anyone would need.
Here's the touchdown again.
He's in motion and stops. Gets the ball. Look at the hole. Look at the fullback's block.
Yeah, Parisi took really the only defender SC had in posture to make the tackle. He just cut him down.
That's right.
All right, Davis is deep along with Ford. McLaughlin kicks off. This time he squibs it, and it's going to go out of bounds. So that'll cost them 5, and they'll do it again with 53 seconds to play in the first half.
That's real good football to do that, because there's no use giving a man like Anthony Davis a chance to bring him back, or whoever else is in there. And even though you take a 5-yard penalty, it's still worth doing. It's good football. I wonder sometimes if it helps the game, but it certainly is good for the team that does it.
They'll bring it back to the 35-yard line.
Southern Cal would be smart if they moved up a little bit on this, because they're not going to kick it deep. You can be sure of that.
Robert Goulet will join the University of Southern California marching band at halftime as we look down from the airship Columbia with Joel Chamberlain at the controls. A Goodyear blip.
And if they do kick it deep, you can always take it in the end zone. But he's not going to kick it any kind that's going to be easy to field. You can bet on that.
McLaughlin.
See there?
Squibs it. It goes to the fullback, Ricky Bell, at the 30-yard line, and Bell comes back to the 40, maybe the 41. USC does something a little differently in receiving the kickoff. Remember, we pointed out they send 6 running backs as their 6 deep men. All the fullbacks are lined up for just that eventuality. And Ricky Bell brings it back 11 yards to the 41, where the Trojans have it first down. 50 seconds to go in the first half, and Notre Dame has shocked the Trojans with a 24-0 lead.
Now Southern Cal has 3 times out left. They could go down the field and score.
Hayden sets him with Farmer at fullback. He gives the ball away to Davis on a draw, and Davis gets to the 43, and Tom Eastman, number 42, read the play and got his man.
And now Southern Cal used one of those times out.
You don't hear as much about Tom Eastman, perhaps, as you do some of the other Notre Dame linebackers, but he's the man in the middle, 230-pound sophomore from Elkhart, and he's a good, solid football player. Quickly, let's go to Frank Gifford.
And earlier, we talked so much about the Heisman Award trophy. Tom Clements, a strong candidate early in the year. He had a chance to talk to Don Tollefson about that Heisman Award, one of the most coveted in all of football.
How much does all the talk about the Heisman Trophy affect you?
I don't think it affects me at all, because I really don't think about it until someone mentions it, really. I'm more concerned with, I want to do well, I want to play well, and I want the team to do well. And, you know, that's my basic interest, because if I do well and we lose like we did against Purdue, it's really, it's not very good, because there's no happiness in defeat, really. So I'm just concerned with playing and winning.
But do you feel any extra pressure because every time the Heisman Trophy's mentioned, your name comes up?
No, I don't feel pressure. People associate my name with the Heisman Trophy. That's fine if they want to, but, you know, I really don't think about it.
We come back to live action here in the Coliseum with 44 seconds to go. It's second down and 7 yards to go for Southern California as Hayden delivers the ball deep, and the pass is completed at the Notre Dame 37-yard line as Shelton Diggs, number 26, the flanker, who's been in motion in virtually every play and makes his first catch of the ball game for 20 yards. Here's a look at him.
And Notre Dame was in a prevent defense this time. They were in a 4-4-3. They're playing for the big ball. And the man made a good cut in there. And the ball was right where it should be, and they beat this linebacker. See, he was sort of sandwiched, and he was hit about the time he got it. He made a dandy catch.
And Mihalik is active, though, Woody. He dropped way back into that deep zone that time.
That's right. But that 4-3 is still a little bit vulnerable. A lot of teams have gone to a 3-5-3. Then Pat Hayden would probably run around them.
All right, he's had his conference on the sidelines with John McKay and the coaching staff as they spent the timeout. It's first down for Southern California at the Notre Dame 36-yard line. They have 1 timeout remaining. And Notre Dame with a big lead of 24-0.
Now let's see what Notre Dame gives them.
38 seconds to play in the first half.
They're up in their man-to-man. They may be shooting in there. Watch. They're going after him. Yep, there they go. There they go.
Going deep. Throwing the ball deep. It is incomplete. The pass intended for Shelton Diggs. John McKay was short at about the 15-yard line and wide open. Here's Diggs, the man for whom the pass was intended.
Notre Dame changed their pass defense entirely. They went after him on that one. The one before, they were in a 4-4.
Reggie Barnett, number 14, was right with him, and he was way deep. He just started dropping when the ball was snapped and just kept on dropping, figuring somebody was going to come that way, and sure enough, there he was. Hayden now is 4 out of 9 for 47 yards, has had 1 intercepted.
Looks like they're going to come again. Looks like they're going to come again. Look at him up there.
31 seconds to play in the first half. It's 2nd down and 10 at the Notre Dame 36 for Southern California.
Automatic there. Automatic.
Good protection for Hayden. Goes to the sideline. Diggs has got it. Needs to get out of bounds. He cuts it back upfield, and he's got a first down at the Notre Dame 7-yard line with 22 seconds to play in the first half. They'll have to spend another timeout. 28 yards on the pass play. Steve Knutson at number 77 on the right side of the Southern California offensive line took a couple of Notre Damers out on that play as he stood like a tree and gave Hayden the time to throw the ball.
Could I take a guess on this one? The running pass? There, they did that to us and scored on it, and they might just come to running pass, and they can run 2 or 3 plays now if they're incomplete passes. And they almost have to go to the pass.
Notre Dame beefs up its defensive front as they go to the goal line group. The ball at the Irish 7-yard line, and Southern California in desperate need of some points on the scoreboard before time expires in the first half, and only 22 seconds remain. Notre Dame.
They can run 3 plays in that length of time at least.
Notre Dame jumping big to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Added 10 points here in the second quarter to lead it 24-0. And Pat Hayden has come back from the sidelines now with no more timeouts remaining. Bell, number 42, is in at fullback. Obradovich is the tight end. Anthony Davis will be the tailback. John McKay will be the wide receiver. Sheldon Diggs will be the flanker. McKay and Diggs both going wide to the left. Obradovich is a fine receiver, the tight end. He is to the right.
Wants the running pass.
He's going in the wide side of the field. He's looking for John McKay. He's got him. He throws it too high. And Hayden is down hard as Stock leveled him. Hayden really took a shot from Jim Stock just as he delivered the ball, and you can see he's coming back to the huddle gingerly with 16 seconds to play in the first half. The emotion of the moment may keep him moving, but he'll feel that one tomorrow. We'll have the USC band for you at halftime, as we noted with Bob Goulet, the featured performer.
And they'll get off 2 more plays. They'll both be passes.
All right, John McKay is wide to the left side. Diggs to the right this time. Hayden comes back. He swings the ball out to Davis, running for the flag. Touchdown!
It's absolutely amazing what a team can do with a couple of times out. They march half the length of the field there in practically no time at all.
That was a lateral pass. He threw it absolutely down the line, and Anthony Davis, with his great speed, just simply outran the Notre Dame defenders into the corner, and finally, Southern California gets on the board as they go 59 yards in 6 plays, but used only 43 seconds to do it. Rob Adolph in the hole, and Chris Limahelu is in for the extra point try, and it is blocked. Picked up by Adolph, and he's dropped back on the 15-yard line. And so Notre Dame was coming all the way, trying to block that extra point try, and they got it. The man who got it, I do believe, was Kevin Nussbush, number 60. Here's a look at the touchdown as Hayden comes back, sets quickly, and delivers the ball to Anthony Davis. Jimmy Stock, number 48, could not get outside to him as he stumbled there. And Davis just simply outran Greg Collins into the corner, and USC is on the board with 10 seconds to go in the first half. Limahelu, little guy, but he's got great range with that leg. He has a 50-yarder this year.
But he's not going to use range now. He's going to squib kick it. He's not going to give them a chance to return it with 10 seconds on the clock.
Ball is laying flat on the ground.
That's right.
McLean, 22. Urick, 40. The deep men for Notre Dame, a sophomore and a freshman. Now he goes to the kicking tee.
But he'll try to keep the ball on the ground. Of course, the clock doesn't start until the white team recovers it. So they'll still have time to run one play if they call a timeout, and they've got 2 times out left.
24-6 with 10 seconds to play in the first half. He rolls it downfield. rolling around, and Notre Dame covers the ball back at the 22-yard line. Terry Urick, number 40, coming up to cover the ball for the Fighting Irish with 7 seconds to play in the first half. I would think Notre Dame would be very happy to go into the locker room at halftime leading 24-6. Wouldn't you, Coach Hayes?
Yes, accepting this drive by Southern Cal gives them sort of a lift, too. And I know they're way behind, but I think you'll see a whale of a ball game the second half. Because they did execute a magnificent drive there at the end of the half. That was great. And that last play was something I'll worry about till we play the ball game.
Tom Clements takes the snap, sits down with it, and time runs out.
That isn't a very pretty play there, but that's the way to do it.
And so after the first half of play here at the Los Angeles Coliseum, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, 24, Southern California, 6. Traveler 2 is out. The music is Conquest. It's always a thrilling thing for me to watch when that big white horse comes thundering around the track and the music strikes up for the full stadium. And I'll tell you this, the men of Troy have got themselves a problem. They trail 24-6 as we go to the second half with whiteboard 22. And Anthony Davis, number 28, the deep man, to receive the kickoff from Pat McLaughlin of Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, wearing the white, and they dominated the first half of play. Here's the kick. McLaughlin knocks it high and deep. And Davis, 2 yards deep in the end zone, will bring it back. The wedge gets him to the 20. He breaks it at the 25. He's long gone at the 40. It's now a foot race, and here goes Anthony Davis for 102 yards and a touchdown.
Impossible to believe. He's been stopped with about 2 yards on each play. The first half, he goes 103 yards on the first time he has an hand on the ball. That's reminiscent of 2 years ago. So this makes it a great football game.
It's the second time this year that Anthony Davis has gone 100 yards plus with a kickoff. He did it in the opening game against Arkansas. That game the Trojans lost. But he has certainly aroused the stadium with that brilliant run, and give the guys the credit. The wedge blew the hole for him. Once he got it out, he was long gone. 102 yards for Anthony Davis.
And that man who did not throw downfield and didn't clip was a pretty smart fellow, too.
Have another look at it.
Good wedge. Right up the middle of it. I'm amazed at that. Now he breaks it. Now he's all on his own. This fellow outrun 16, and he didn't throw. If he'd thrown there, they'd probably been a clip.
2 years ago, he ran him 97 and 96 yards for touchdowns against Notre Dame, and he continues to haunt Ara Parsekian's Fighting Irish. Another look at it from a different angle. Watch the wedge blow the hole for him.
Man barely got his hands on him. 1, 2, 3. He outran that man 4. And there he's gone. That's one of the great plays in football, certainly.
And they're
going for 2.
Going for 2. Southern Cal will go for 2. At Hayden on a roll to the right side. Allen Carter, the tailback's in front of him. Hayden is there. He didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
He was within a foot of getting there, and Drew Mahalik knocked him out of bounds. Number 45 saved the 2-point try. Drew Mahalik. He has made 3 big defensive plays in the ball game for Notre Dame. Let's watch it again now and watch the flow of 45. Looked like Hayden was going to stick his head in there.
Sure did.
Now watch Mahalik.
There's one man down.
Here he comes, 45. Beats off Carter, the tailback, and...
Boys, that's a great play for that defender. Great play.
And so, with 14:46 to go in the third quarter, Anthony Davis's touchdown run requiring only 14 seconds for 102 yards. The score now is 24-12. Mark McLean, number 22, is beat for Southern California, for Notre Dame, along with Terry Urick. The Southern California's Chris Limahalu now with a roar coming out of the Coliseum will kick it off.
It'd be ironic if they did the same thing.
McLean at the 4.
They bring it across the field. They're not going to go.
Oh! What a hit downfield by number 57, David Lewis. Notre Dame will have the ball.
The momentum up to this moment is switched. Unless Notre Dame can move the ball out of there, they're in trouble. If you just don't run east and west on a field north and south, you don't go very far.
Watch the hit by Lewis now.
It's a great hit. Great hit. At least the man held on to the ball.
All right. It's at the 8-yard line. It's a test of Notre Dame's poise right at this moment in the ball game as Clements turns around and gives the ball to Parisi, and Gary Jeter brings him down as he gets to the 11, maybe the 12.
You know, the defense looked a little tougher, a little meaner on that play than they have so far.
The halftime statistics, actually time of possession was not that different, but the total yardage certainly was 256 to 161. All right, the ball is at the 12. It is second down and 6 for Notre Dame at their own 12. Clements gives to Samuel. He's up to the 15 to the 16-yard line. They're going to be looking at a third down and 2. And here you see Notre Dame going into that misdirection offense.
Yes, sir, this is a key play. 3rd and 2. Because if they don't, then they kick, and Southern Cal will get the ball around midfield. My guess is they'll run their fullback. Either that or sweep, so here I am guessing.
All right, the heat's on the Notre Dame offense to keep possession of the ball on third down and 2.
And the linebackers are cheating up in there. There they are.
They've got 8 men up on that line. Southern California does. Clements going down the line, delivers the ball to Eric Pennick, trying to get outside. They've got him. Back at the 12-yard line. Art Riley, number 70, made the play. Ed Powell, 87. The outside linebacker to the open field side was involved as well. So Riley and Powell.
That's a different defense in there for Southern Cal. There's just no question about it. They're going after them this half. Makes a lot of difference.
13 minutes to go in the third quarter. The complexion of things entirely different right now. On that 102-yard kickoff return by Anthony Davis. And now Notre Dame has got to kick the ball away. Cody Brantley standing in his end zone. He hits it up on the 3-yard line.
Doesn't get it very high.
It's returned by Charles Phillips to the Notre Dame 38-yard line, a 34-yard punt, a 7-yard return. And here you have Southern California steaming right now with a football at the Notre Dame 38-yard line. Score 24-12, the Irish lead. Here is a pressure point of the ball game. First down, Southern California at the Notre Dame 38. 5-man front defensively. 52 defense for Notre Dame as Pat Hayden gives the ball to Anthony Davis. He's got 1 yard as he works down to the 37-yard line. Anthony Davis having set a new NCAA record for touchdowns on kickoff returns with 6. The old record was 5, held by Davis and Stan Brown of Purdue. Brown having played at Purdue in 1968, 69, and 70. And that's the way the Trojans line up along the offensive front. They're looking at second down and 9 at the Notre Dame 37-yard line. It's a test of poise for both teams at this point in the game. 24-12, Notre Dame leading. Kelton Diggs goes in motion. Here's Hayden back to throw. He's got Diggs wide open on the right. Goes for McKay. McKay's got it. He looks the ball right into his hand and makes the catch at the Notre Dame 6-yard line. John Dubinetzi brought him down. The son of the SC coach, John McKay, makes a 31-yard reception.
He's got room to make his move.
That's his first catch in the ball game, and he really concentrates, Woody.
He's a great little receiver. We know that only too well.
That's right. Ball is at the Notre Dame 6-yard line now. The Irish defense digging in. SC trying to get themselves back into the ball game. Here's the pitch wide to Davis. Good blocking on the right side. Touchdown!
Anyone who can figure out this football game is a genius.
Delton Diggs and Dave Farmer were the 2 men that made the blocks. So there's where that banner went to that we lost the last time we were out here. Well, whatever. We've got ourselves a roaring ball game as Chris Limahelu comes in to go for one this time. The hold is good. The kick is up. The kick is good. And so with 11 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the third quarter, we've got ourselves a ball game. Southern California goes 38 yards in 3 plays in 1 minute and 4 seconds. And the scoreboard now reads Notre Dame 24, Southern California 19. The Trojans having scored 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
And that's just about the way Notre Dame did the first half.
Right. So Anthony Davis resting, and let's have a look at the touchdown play. He's a tough little guy. All right, it's Urick 40, McLean 22, deep for the Fighting Irish. As Southern California's Limahelu will kick it off. There's the story on the mark for the Trojan touchdown. This is a typical SC Notre Dame game, one of the great intersectional rivalries of all time. Here's the kick. It'll be McLean at the 1-yard line. Good hard run by McLean. Brings it back to the 22. Maybe the 23. That's where they'll put it. First down, 23, Ara Parsekian, the head football coach of Notre Dame, facing the sideline.
They've got to move the ball on this drive. They're in real trouble. They've got fair field position. They've got to move it now.
Notre Dame averaged on first down plays in the first half 7.6 yards.
Isn't that amazing?
But so far they have not been able to get on track as SC has exploded for 2 quick touchdowns here in the third quarter. And this crowd of 92,000 roaring, and Tom Clements will have none of it. He just walks away from the ball and will wait him out.
This is not fair. This is not fair. The quarterback isn't getting his chance.
All right, from the 23, Clements back, sets the throw, goes to the air. The pass deflected. Pass is incomplete. It was thrown upfield, intended for Pete Demily, Richard Wood. Coming in, putting on the pressure. Along the front, Notre Dame has Brenneman in the middle, Wujek and Donardo on each side of him. The tackles are Sylvester and Neese. The tight end is Weber. The wide man is Demily. And in the backfield, it is Clements, Parisi, Samuel in motion. Clements back to throw. Looks for Demily. Unloads it to the short man, Pinnock. Pinnock is run out of bounds. Shoved out of bounds by Marvin Cobb. Short of the first down. The advance of the ball up to the 26-yard line. Put it down. Let's call it the 25-yard line. Where it'll be 3rd down and 8. 3rd and long. Notre Dame dominated the first half. Southern California being pulled along by the emotional surge that goes with a 102-yard touchdown by Anthony Davis on the opening kickoff of the second half. Clements gets the ball in the air. He's got a man wide open. The ball is fumbled. Southern California recovers Demily's fumble at the Notre Dame 35. Demily was leveled by Phillips. Here's the play. Pass on target. Now watch the hit.
Certainly open. .46. There goes the ball. No question. What is the fumble?
Danny Reese, 46, hit him low. Phillips hit him high, knocked the ball loose. Kevin Bruce covered it. Here we go. Southern California from the 36-yard line. Anthony Davis goes to the 33. Reggie Barnett of Notre Dame makes the tackle. There's Danny Reese. Number 46, who was involved in that big play just a moment ago. Farmer is out at fullback now for Southern Cal, and Dell comes in.
Emotion has to be the big thing. Now, it's change, it's reverse now. Momentum, whatever you want to call it.
Second down and 7 yards to go for Southern California as Hayden gives the ball on the reverse action to Shelton Diggs, the flanker, and he didn't get anything.
Well, that Notre Dame line is still playing awfully good ball inside.
Drew Mihalik, 45. Niehaus, number 70.
He just might come back with a pass off that same action, that counter action. He's almost has to pass on this down.
I just don't believe, Woody, that you're going to run very much against this Notre Dame front.
It's a great defensive line.
Third down, 8 yards to go. Hayden, straight back. Gets off the snap very quickly. Throws to the short man, and he dropped the ball. Did he hold on? No, he held on.
It's complete.
It's worth another look because Diggs was butterfingering the ball as he went down.
He had
of 13.
First down.
Here's the play now. Watch this ball thrown very well by Hayden right into Diggs. Hit him right in the numbers. Yeah, he one-handed it on the way down.
Yes, Hayden's doing a beautiful job putting that ball in there. Notre Dame has not been rushing quite as hard this half either. They'll start coming to blitzes pretty soon now.
First down on the Notre Dame 21-yard line.
Here she comes.
Notre Dame with 6 men up on the defensive front. Hayden on a roll, trying to get away from the blitz. He got away from Fanning, gets the ball off. Johnny McKay at the 4-yard line. First down, Southern California.
That only means one thing, that those two men have been working together a lot.
Here's Hayden's roll now as we look at it again. Now watch McKay. Down on his knees, gets up. Makes a great catch.
Those two fellows have been playing together a long time, haven't
they? Yes, they have. All the way through high school. First down, goal to go, Southern California. Bidding for the lead right here on the Notre Dame 4-yard line. Hayden gives the ball to Anthony Davis. Touchdown! Anthony Davis has scored 3 touchdowns in less than 7 minutes in the third quarter. He has a total of 4 in the ball game.
That's the great thing about college football. It's totally unpredictable.
Another look at it. Watch the left side of the offensive line. Blow the hole for it. Again, remember, the SC tailback sets up 7 yards from the ball. Gives him time to read the hole. So with 8 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the third quarter, the score now, University of Southern California 25, Notre Dame 24.
You're watching.
All right, here comes Southern California now for the extra point try, leading 25-24, and they're going to go for 2. Hayden pitches the ball to Anthony Davis on a sweep to the right side. He's in there.
What do you know?
Oh, I'll tell you that Anthony Davis is a nightmare for Notre Dame. 2 years ago, he just tore them apart. Last year, they controlled him. But in this ball game today, he scored 26 points. And we've got 8:37 to go in the third quarter. Now, here's the pass play that's set up. The go-ahead touchdown for Southern Cal as Hayden rolls to the right. John McKay, the son of the coach, down on his knees, got up. Hayden ran out of a tackle, jumped in the air, and delivered it like Harry Gilmer used to throw it at Alabama, and McKay great catch on it, and here's the 2-point extra point try that was successful as Anthony Davis went student body right and took it in, and Southern California has gone ahead of Notre Dame 27-24. And Obradovich and Bain made the big blocks to get Davis in for the 2 points. So the third quarter touchdowns for Southern Cal as they kick off. have given the Trojans the lead. And now it is Mark McLean returning it for the Fighting Irish, and he gets out to about the 23-yard line, where the Irish will have it first down, and Anthony Davis can now sit down, have a drink of water, and take a nap if he wants.
I think one of the big things in the ball game right now is the way this Southern Cal defense has come to life. They're not the same people they were the first half. They're taking the ball away twice now and giving their own team scoring opportunities. They're playing a lot better ball.
They've given you a lot to think about on your ride home.
They certainly have. They certainly have. But we'll get these pictures.
All right, Notre Dame with the crowd roaring comes up. Tom Clements sets. Wayne Bullock is back in at fullback. He has the ball. Sprained his ankle in the first half. Back in for the first time in the second half and takes it from the 23 out to about the 25. A great fullback. Notre Dame needs him. Kevin Bruce and Gary Jeter make the stop.
He's limping pretty badly there.
All right, Pat Hayden, who's been just spectacular here in the second half.
Yes, he has.
His counterpart, Tom Clements, now on second down and 8 yards to go from the 25. Tom gives the ball away to Bullock again. And the fullback jams it over the right side out to the 28, and here's Jim Lampley.
You may never seen a football game that turned around so quickly. You may also have never seen a Southern Cal team so consumed with emotion. At halftime, Coach John McKay told them they played badly in the first half, but he said the same thing had happened 10 years ago. He said they were going to bring the kickoff back in the second half, and then they were going to score and score and score again. That's exactly what they've done, Keith.
On third down and 3, Notre Dame trying to get it moving again as Clements goes to throw. Ed Powell's after him, delivers the ball, and it is...
That rush played a big factor there. He had to throw off balance. Southern Cal's rushing better, and
that was almost picked off over there in the crowd.
Almost.
Have a look at Pete Nimmerly as he breaks it to the sideline. 85. Charlie Phillips, number 49, the man who gets after him right here. You see Richard Wood also dropping back, the linebacker. Had him well covered. Phillips almost got that ball. All right, Brantley will punt now for Notre Dame. Gets it off. It's a fine kick. Back at the 26-yard line. Southern California. And coming up the sidelines, it is Marvin Cobb, number 24, with a football. He almost took it home.
No flags on the play either.
He brought it back 54 yards. Number 24, Cobb, great All-American baseball player, incidentally. Watch him get out and walk the chalk on the sidelines as the picket line was set up very well for him. Art Riley, number 70, in the meantime, is down on the field, injured. You see Cobb almost break out of the stack. Jerry DiNardo runs him down and trips him up with 7:02 to go. 27-24, USC leads it. Southern California with a football, first down at the Notre Dame 19-yard line. Trojans blowing it open here in the third quarter. An incredible comeback. 27-24 lead. They give the ball to Anthony Davis, and he runs right at the right side from the 19 down to about the 15-yard line as Tom Eastman, the middle linebacker for the Fighting Irish, makes the stop, and there's Art Riley. He was injured in the kickoff play where Marvin Cobb almost broke it all the way on that 54-yard return. But he'll try to shake it off. He is an outstanding football player. Ball is at the 15 now. Again, the Notre Dame defense trying to get a hold of somebody's shirt tail. Come up with a big play here to stop this Notre Dame march. Southern California just literally on fire here in the third quarter. Hayden back to pass. He's under pressure, and they've got him. Greg Collins, number 50, the linebacker, makes the stop.
So now they come up 3rd and 9.
Greg Collins, a 230-pound senior out of Troy, Michigan, and we have seen him have some great days during his career at Notre Dame. The ball is on the 18-yard line. Anthony Davis in the ball game has picked up 56 yards rushing, 37 yards receiving, 147-yard return, so that's 240 total yards that he has produced today so far. with 5:45 to go in the third quarter. Third down and 9 now as Hayden rolls to the left. Gets it off. Mahalik hits him just as he throws. Touchdown, McKay.
I can't believe it. They make it look so simple. That had counteraction in there, and Evans pulled off the corner, and he beat the halfback.
He got away from Barnett. In the third quarter, Southern California, in less than 10 minutes, has scored 4 times. Lima Halu for the point. It's good. Absolutely astounding football game. Let's watch John McKay now, number 25, sitting on the bench. Here's the replay as he goes down for the touchdown. 18-yard pass play. He runs a pattern as well as anybody, takes his bump there, and he gets away from Payne.
He's dead.
Barnett couldn't get to him, and he's all alone. He's caught 3 passes, 67 yards, and 1 touchdown. Well, Ara Parsekian's got to feel like the sky is falling, the way things have happened here in the third quarter. Hurricane McLean a deep for Notre Dame as Lima Halu kicks it out of bounds. That'll cost the Trojans 5, and they'll redo it. With 5:37 to go in the third quarter, and Southern California jumping out to a big lead. Here's Jim Lempley.
The man with me is Tony Preston, who's the director of sports for the BBC. This is the first time he's ever seen a football game. And Tony, keeping in mind you're watching an incredible one, how does this compare with soccer or some of the sports you televise?
Well, I don't know how it compares, but it's a most tremendous atmosphere, I must say. No, I mean, the thing that really struck me, atmosphere, the fact that you have offense and defense, and this boy Anthony Davis, I've never seen anything like it anywhere.
Very electrifying sport, isn't it?
It really is most exciting, tremendous atmosphere.
Thank you very much. Back up to Keith Jackson.
Thank you, Jimmy, and here's Lima Halu kicking it again, gets a little more to put into it. Mark McLean takes it at the 10-yard line for Notre Dame. Big return, comes back to the 32 for 20 yards. And now again, it's a test of the poise of the Fighting Irish to get something going here and take some of the heat off. And David Lewis makes the tackle for Southern Cal. 34-24, SC leads. Tom Clements riding onto the field now, joining the huddle for Notre Dame. Emily comes wide to the right. Parisi back in at fullback for the Fighting Irish. Samuel in motion. There's that draw play. McLean scored off of it a little while ago in the first half. Samuel gets the ball up across the 35. He's up to the 37. Give him 4 yards on the pickup. And the clock is running now at 5:15 to go in the third quarter. And USC leading by 10 points. The Trojans went to the locker room at halftime, down 24-6. Now it is 34-24. Notre Dame, second down and 6. Clements gives the ball to Parisi, and Tom is across the 40. Woody Hayes of Ohio State, our guest commentator today. And Coach Hayes, my guess would be if Notre Dame pull itself back together and pound it, carve it out, take it in.
Yeah, they're not out of the ball game yet. You can bet on it. If they get out and score, then she's still a heck of a ball game. This game is going to change hands yet.
4 minutes.
No one there. Here's your tight defense now. They're going to stop him in there.
8-man front.
Yep, they stopped him. They stopped him.
Parisi on third down and a yard and a half is hit by Kevin Bruce, who is the leading tackler for Southern California, and they've got him short of the first down.
Yeah, they stepped up both linebackers in there and stopped it. And now Notre Dame has to punt.
On fourth down.
They might go for it. They might even have a fake punt and pass. If they have it, now would be the time to use it.
Notre Dame has scarcely seen the ball here in the second half, and they're going to go for it.
They're going to go for it. I don't blame them. Got to come this way.
Parisi, the fullback. He may have it, or he may not. I don't know.
That's real close. From where the man standing over there, it says no. It's going to be awfully close.
Well, he took the ball in behind number 71, Steve Sylvester, who may be the best of the blockers along the Notre Dame front. He's been an outstanding blocking tackle all season long for Ara Parsegian, and it's close enough for the chain gang to come on the field, and this may be one of the big moments in this ball game.
If he made it, he didn't make it by more than 6 inches.
All right, here's the stretch out of the chain. He's got his first down. First down, Notre Dame.
That's a real big play in this ball game.
Of course, the man sitting to my right, Woody Hayes, would like to play the Southern California team and talk about the national championship. Of course, Ara Parsegian in Notre Dame takes on undefeated Alabama in the Orange Bowl. And the other undefeated team, Oklahoma, of course, will not be playing in a postseason game, as you see the scoring drives for USC. But right now, Notre Dame has the ball. First down at their own 43-yard line. And Tom Clements back to throw. He's under heat. He's going to have to run it. He's belted as he gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line, and he's hit by Danny Reese. Pete Dimmerly is the man, of course, they're doubling up on now. You see Powell, the linebacker, outside linebacker, bump him at the line of scrimmage, bumped him again, and now Dimmerly trying to break into the secondary, and he's picked up by Richard Wood, and now here come the defensive backs, and they hit him. And so Dimmerly is having a rough time up there. I'm not sure, but what a flag could have been thrown on that one. But it wasn't. It's second down and 6 from the 47 for Notre Dame. Here's McLean getting around the corner across the 50 down to the Southern California 46, and that should be a first down for Notre Dame.
That youngster obviously has fine speed. He cleared that corner in great style.
Ball is marked at the Southern California 46-yard.
Well, he's trying to figure what went for him early in the ball game, and if you remember early in the game, he was passing on that first down.
Right.
And that's when he went in so quickly. And he just make him up again on that first down pass.
Well, they averaged 7.6 per yard per first down, but here in the second half, it's been 2.7. They go to Parisi, the fullback. He's got a couple of yards, and that's all as the Trojan linebackers hammer him.
And Parisi's a good one, but he isn't as good as Bullock. Notre Dame is hurt by the loss of Bullock. There's no question about it.
For one, he's not as big, and two, I don't think he's quite as strong.
Well, he hasn't had the experience either.
Speaking of total yardage, there's a comparison, give you an idea of what kind of a third quarter Anthony Davis has had. Incredible.
He's had a lot of experience.
Just inside the 45. Second down, 8 yards to go. Notre Dame keeps it in the middle with Parisi carrying the ball. And he's down to the maybe inside the 40.
Got about a 3rd and 3, I believe.
Looks like Otha Bradley, the middle guard, is down on the field for Southern California. Well, there's a former Trojan sitting there. He's not a former Trojan. Once a Trojan, always a Trojan, right, Frank? But you got to be suffering sitting up there in New York watching this on pins and needles as your Trojans come battling back.
Well, Keith, I was suffering at halftime. Things have turned around a little bit. I know Coach Woody Hayes has probably seen a team come in like Notre Dame did, take a big lead, and all of a sudden they feel they have total control of the game. They had a 24-6 lead. They come out, they kick off to Anthony Davis, and all respect to Archie Griffin. Woody Hayes, Anthony Davis is a pretty good football player. He runs it back 102 yards. All of a sudden it turns around, and the problem now is to reverse that. You as a head coach, I know Woody Hayes, and of course Ara Parsegian is feeling that right now. How do we turn it around? It's not easy once you lose the momentum, and SC with that great defensive talent, well, I think it's going to be one of the most exciting games of the year. In my estimation, it already has been.
All right, Frank. The ball is at the 39-yard line for Notre Dame, the 39 of Southern California. The Fighting Irish have to go to the 36 to get their first down. They are looking at a 3rd down and 3. They gambled on a 4th down play to keep the ball. Here's the ball given to number 24, Samuel, coming around. He is at the 35, and he's got a first down for Notre Dame. down for the Fighting Irish at the Southern California 35, and 2 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the third quarter. USC leading it 34-24. The halftime score was 24-6 for Notre Dame. It's Pinnock in motion. Clements back to throw. Tom delivers, intended for Samuel, and it's deflected.
Great defensive play.
Ron Bush, number 23, made the defensive play, a sophomore out of San Bernardino for the Trojans. Tom Clements trying to lob the ball over the defensive man's head. Otha Bradley suffered an arm injury, the middle guard, down in the elbow area, so he is out of the ball game at the moment for Southern California. Larry Nunnally and Pat Morris are the men to back him up. The man that goes in there right now is Tim Reams, number 97, a junior out of Fresno. And it is second down and 10 for Notre Dame. At the SC 35, Pinnock in motion. Clements back to throw again. He has time. He throws. It is intercepted by Charles Phillips. Knocked out of bounds by Sylvester. Phillips with his second interception of the day. Returns it 37 yards.
That could be the turning point of the ball game right there, because Notre Dame had a pretty good drive going at this point.
You're watching College Football Classics on ESPN.
All right, here comes Southern California now with Diggs going in motion. Shelton Diggs to the right. Anthony Davis going the same way. Davis, the tailback. Takes it from the 50 down to the 46-yard line before Kevin Nussbush makes the tackle. The score at halftime was 24-6. Notre Dame leading. The Fighting Irish had absolutely dominated the game. But as Coach Woody Hayes pointed out, SC took it in for a big score at the close of the first half. A 102-yard touchdown run by Anthony Davis with the opening kickoff of the second half. And Notre Dame under pressure all the way as Southern California has just absolutely exploded to score 28 points in the third quarter with 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining. Here is Hayden giving the ball to the fullback Ricky Bell, and Bell takes it to the 40, inside the 40, and that will be a first down.
Incidentally, on the previous play, Ricky Bell got a great block. Then to come back and fake the sweep and hand the ball under his elbow to Ricky, it's only poetic justice that he should get the chance to carry the ball, and he certainly did.
Well, I'll back up, Woody. That is not quite a first down. They mark him just short of the 40. Third and just inches.
Here's where I like to go into the robust.
Mosu Tatupu is now in at fullback, a freshman out of Honolulu, as Hayden goes for the first down and should have it. It is a first down. Bob McCaffrey, the center, led him. As we look down on the Los Angeles Coliseum with some 92,000 people, we look down from the airship Columbia with Joel Chamberlain at the controls. The Goodyear blimp. The lights are on in the Coliseum. Notre Dame sends a six-man front up. Dubonetsky, a cornerback, comes up. Here's Hayden dropping back to throw all the time. Now he runs out of time. He gets around the corner, and he's run out of bounds.
That's the amazing thing that Hayden does right there. When he gets in trouble, he can run enough to get back near that line of scrimmage, and that's what he did. He's not a great runner, but he certainly is a timely one.
He lost about 2 yards on that play.
He could have lost a lot more, though.
Second down and 12 now for Southern California. Hayden in the second half, 4 for 4, 80 yards and a touchdown. Plus a couple of other passes that set up scoring opportunities. Hayden swings it out to Davis. Jim Stock right there. Loss on that play back to the 45-yard line. Woody, how long can you keep up that kind of momentum, explosive?
You know, I was just asking myself that question. They're probably a little tired. They've had the ball a lot this quarter, and they've run a lot. They may be a little bit tired at this point.
You know that so many games are played in surges. One surges, the other surges.
That's right.
And you got to sooner or later step back and take a deep breath. It's third down and 15. for Southern California. Hayden going deep. McKay wide open. Touchdown.
Someone fouled up on that pass coverage there, just after. Of course, they're swinging the tailback out this way to make it a flood area. Somebody missed the man down the middle, and the post was wide open. But McKay is certainly having a good day. Let's just hope that he's having his best day today.
Here he goes. They just left him alone.
Yeah, someone fouled up on that one. You see, they sent the tailback to swing out of the backfield, and someone overplayed it.
Randy Harrison, number 10, was the closest man to him. The freshman out of Hammond, Indiana. McKay ran right by him, and Hayden was perfect on the pass.
Certainly was.
McKay now with 4 catches, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Terry O'Neill, our statistician, digging into the history books. He's been digging a whole third quarter.
You know, this is the thing we've always said about John McKay's team. They can run and pass better than any team in football. And it's certainly been proven here in this quarter.
35 points against a Notre Dame football team anytime, any year is an incredible fact.
Against the #1 defensive team in the country, although we've got to admit it's been in the past defense that they've hurt them the worst. Now they've got them sort of like an accordion going in and out.
All right, here's Lima Halu for the extra point try. Bob Adolph holds it. It's good.
I hate to mention it, but 2 years ago they did this same thing to us in the third quarter.
41-24 after 3.
You run that Dave DeBusschere will be the Secretary.
Here we go to the final 15 minutes of football in the 46th renewal of this intersectional rivalry between Notre Dame and Southern California. Urich 40 and McLean 22. Lima Halu kicks off for Southern California. It goes to McLean at the 12-yard line. He's back to the 24-yard line, and he is hammered. If you're thinking about records, the most points ever scored in one quarter, 49 by Davidson against Furman back in 1969. So here's a look on that last touchdown as John McKay goes in almost untouched. Certainly all alone when he made the catch on the perfect pass from Pat Hayden to give Southern California a 17-point lead, 41-24. All right, here's Notre Dame with Tom Clements now. Gets the ball to Pennick. Fumble. Can't find the handle. SC jumps on it. The Trojans have it at the Notre Dame 15-yard line. And the sky has indeed fallen on Notre Dame.
That happened 2 years ago, right about the same position on the field. The same man.
Kevin Bruce, number 50, comes out of the stack with the ball. Notre Dame has turned it over 4 times.
In the first half, Notre Dame played errorless ball. They had 1 interception.
Ball is marked at the 16 of Notre Dame, where it's first down, Southern California, as McKay and Diggs go wide left. Bell, the fullback, Davis, the tailback, Hayden, the quarterback, Obradovic is the tight end. And Hayden rolls left to the wide side, going to put it up, goes into the end zone. Touchdown! It's McKay, or is it Diggs? It's Diggs. Number 26, Shelton Diggs, makes the catch. And it's one of the most incredible turnarounds I have ever seen in a football game.
I don't think you need to qualify it, Steve. I think it is the most that I've ever seen. They just make it look easy.
.43 to go in the ball game, and Southern California has now put 47 points on the scoreboard. It was 24-6 at halftime, Notre Dame leading. Watch the touchdown as Diggs goes down into the corner. Got away from Barnett. Hayden's pass on the money.
And a fine catch.
Lima Halu for the point. It's good. So the Southern California passing attack, as you look at Ara Parsegian. And Ara beleaguered at the moment.
Who wouldn't be?
Oh, I should say. There's Pat Hayden, who was frustrated. And Shelton Diggs, frustrated in the first half. But it's all joy on the Southern California side of the Coliseum at the moment.
And you know, yet you've got to realize that the defense for Southern Cal has done a great job this half. They've given their team the ball in excellent field position all the time.
48-24. Southern California has doubled Notre Dame, and they were down 24-6 at halftime. That is a new record, the most points ever scored against Notre Dame in one quarter. We suspected that. 35 points by Southern California in the third quarter. Lima Halu knocks it down to the 2-yard line. And McLean gets it back to the 20-yard line. Purdue, back in 1960, scored 31 points in a quarter against the Fighting Irish. Southern California has taken that record out of the book with 35 here in 1974. All right, Tom Clements comes on with 14 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the ball game, and the score 48-24 against him. McLean goes in motion. He has the ball.
With speed.
He gets about 4 yards out to the 24-yard line before Ed Powell, number 87, carries him out along with Kevin Bruce.
You know, the most unpredictable thing in the world is human emotions.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. And the tide has turned.
Second down and 6 for Notre Dame from the 24. Clements to throw. Swings it short.
The first down.
And McLean gets the first down as he works his way out to about the 35-yard line.
Southern Cal now is playing a very, very deep safety for obvious reasons. That's why the pass was so open in the flat.
George Stewart, number 90, checks into the defense, replacing Art Riley for Southern California at a defensive tackle position. Ed Powell, the outside linebacker, comes up on the line of scrimmage. Clements back to throw. Gets away from one. Gets his pass off. The pass is caught at midfield. And to the SC 49-yard line, it's Ken McAfee, number 81, who was a very prominent figure in the first half for Notre Dame. Number 81.
That's very similar to the pass that McKay caught down near the goal line. The man had to come back. Coming back inside now.
And the quarterback Clements that time able to get away from the pressure and give the man time to work free. Of course, that man should never stop working in that secondary. Only that quarterback's got some room. They go to McLean. He's decked for a 2-yard loss.
Yes, sir, that was a tackle. Who was that?
Gary Jeter, number 79. You remember him. He's out of Cleveland.
Sure do. We recruited him real hard.
He's only a sophomore. You may get to see him some more and more, Woody.
That's right. I hope we do.
Ball is at the 49. Second down and 12 for Notre Dame. Clements to put it up. Intercepted. Intended for McAfee. It may be 6. Here goes Phillips.
It's all the way.
Touchdown. 58 yards. Charles Phillips with his third interception of the day, and he finally got himself some points. The most points ever scored against a Notre Dame football team on the road was 59 points. That was Army. And that may be wiped out today because Southern California's got 54, and they're going to 55 right now. They've got it. Just absolutely an astounding football game.
That game is now known as the comeback. Perhaps not quite as great as Richard Nixon's, but still quite a comeback. Ara Parsegian would later say, it was one of the most unusual games I was ever involved in. On the sidelines with USC coach John McKay was his offensive coach, Craig Fertig, a Trojan alumnus who quarterbacked a come-from-behind 20-17 victory 10 years earlier. As he took the team into the locker room, trailing at the half, McKay told his players about Fertig's 1964 comeback. Apparently, the Trojans found the tale inspiring. It was the damnedest thing I ever saw in football, Coach McKay said of his dramatic USC victory. He then took the Trojans into the Rose Bowl, where they beat Ohio State and won the national championship. Notre Dame went on to beat Alabama in the Orange Bowl, when Parsegian earned his 95th and final victory as coach of the Irish. Classic Sports Network returns in a moment.